Tavarid is a German deep tech company. Tavarid is a B2B AI SaaS solution that helps metal manufacturing companies reduce energy and quality costs by prescribing optimal machine settings. Tavarid has global enterprise customers in 10 countries and saved more than 14 million for them. Tavarid's focus on sustainable manufacturing has impacted over 55 metal processing plants, reducing their carbon emissions. Our vision is to drive the world towards sustainable and zero waste manufacturing. Visit www.tvarit.com to know more about us.
Unium is the subscription management hub for B2B SaaS companies. Whether you're looking to expand to new markets, experimenting with pricing models, or simply want a streamlined quote-to-cash process, Unium got your back. On top of that, Unium Insights provides the SaaS metrics you need for reporting to the board and for future company evaluation. It gives you the key figures needed to drive your business forward and take strategic decisions. Unium. We help SaaS companies manage their B2B customer subscriptions.
Welcome to Startuprad.io, your podcast and YouTube blog covering the German startup scene with news, interviews, and live events.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Joe from Startuprad.io, your startup podcast and YouTube blog from Germany, as well as the founder of the world's first internet radio station dedicated to startups and tech companies. Today, Meeri is my guest. Hey, how you doing?
Hello, Joe. Thank you for inviting me here.
Totally my pleasure. You are the co-founder of Europe's fastest growing new insurer. That's why you are here. But first, I want to get some trivia out of the way because you apparently have a certain sense of humor and you call yourself in your LinkedIn profile Miss Insurtech. Can you elaborate a little bit on that before we get started here, Miss Insurtech?
Yeah, I think in terms of like branding perspective, I kind of sense that it will create a little bit of buzz. So yeah, and this is kind of like my second marriage, my work, my passion. Then seems quite accurate.
Sounds pretty good. I have been looking at your LinkedIn profile, as everybody can do down here. Apparently, I have to be careful what I'm saying because you are a lawyer, right?
But I'm not a practicing lawyer, so yeah.
So I still have to be careful, right?
Yeah, anything will be used against you anyway.
And it's all recorded here. Don't worry about it. I have a question. You've been, before you have been a lawyer with E&Y corporate law. Mm-hmm. And then for some reason, at one point, you decided to go from being a lawyer, being corporate law, to a bike startup, if I understand it right. And from there, yes, you took a little detour into INZMO, INZMO, which is your current company. Can you take us along this journey? Because there have been a few stops in between.
Yeah. So as I started as a corporate lawyer, I really enjoyed serving the clients with different corporate law and tax matters. And but at some point, I felt like I want to have my own team. I want to take more responsibilities. I want to take more risks. And when I get to know my co-founder Risto, we have been doing business now together for 12 years already. We started out with some different projects where he needed help, and actually he needed a lawyer. And then in 2015, we established a company called Bike ID, which is an international bicycle register. And where the idea came from is that Risto used to be a professional motorbike or superbike champion. And in this world or this area, there is a common problem that a lot of two-wheeler two-wheelers are not being registered and they're getting stolen a lot. And same goes to regular bicycles. So we established an international bicycle registry where you can register your bike or your motor vehicle and light vehicles. And we gathered registrations from 72 different countries around the world.
Mm-hmm.
We cooperated together with the police. We helped also a lot of bike owners to find their stolen bikes. And at some point, we understood that we have to monetize this business somehow. And we thought of different ways, and how we could help the bike owners to protect their bikes. And we thought that like the locks or stickers or anything else is not good enough. And when your bike is stolen and you will never get it back, the only way to really give some relief to the bike owner is a bike insurance. So the developers we had back then, just by chance, used to be the former developers of insurance companies and insurance brokers. So they set up quite quickly a solution that we could, in our registry, sell bike insurance. And as our ambition has always been, given that we are from Estonia and we were like in the first place serving the Estonian market, but our ambition has always been like larger markets, and in Europe, especially Germany, we started pitching this idea and this solution to different insurance companies in Europe, especially in Germany. And when we showed them how we are registering bikes and how we would like to very easily sell those bikes bike insurance over the application, then the feedback that we got like really, really often was that why just bike insurance, that we would like to sell our other products through this kind of solution, through this kind of app and in seconds. And given that we had back then the technical capability and developers to build something for the insurance segment, then in 2016 we decided to make a pivot and start to mediate other insurance products than just bike insurance. So we pivoted. We changed the brand from Bike ID to INZMO, and we became basically an insurance mediator or insurance broker. This was also the point where we got several investments and also investments from different insurance companies. And starting from 2016, we have been building our own kind of back office solution to instantly serve customers different insurance products in a way that it's really convenient to take out the insurance policy, manage an insurance policy, and really also handle claims super easily and in a convenient way. And today we're focused on the German market. We are focused on property casualty insurance products. Primarily, our niche is everything related to your rental home and the home contents in your rental home. So the whole rental industry topic is very close to our heart, and this is the vertical where we would like to serve the customers, because it is a booming trend globally, and we see that the world is moving towards not owning any more property, but living a free and flexible life, and everything related to short-term renting is a part of that. If you might know, then also the World Economic Forum has said that by 2040, you own nothing and you will be happy. And this is the kind of trend we see happening right now, is that especially the younger generation do not want to own anything anymore, but to rent and live a flexible life. And we want to be a part of this trend and part of these service providers who are helping to mitigate the risks of having a fun, free, and flexible life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I forget to say, 2016 you did a pivot into insurance. 2022 you became one of the top 10 women to watch in Insurtech. Congratulations to that, by the way. And
Thank you.
I would be curious, did you ever, when you still were in your corporate job, think about, let's do a lot of stuff with bikes and I'll be Miss Insurtech in one day? Did you ever think about that?
No, not at all. The thing here is that me and my co-founder, we didn't have any previous touch points with insurance at all. Like Bike ID was our first project that had a small touch point with insurance. And then we started like expanding that concept. And given that we had such a good support on our developer team side, who was actually quite, educated and used to work in the insurance segment, then that was a huge help. And we have now we have more than 30 people in our team, and the vast majority of them are actually insurance experts. And so we have been quite lucky and successful in onboarding really top talents from the insurance industry. And we have been educating ourselves thanks to those people quite a lot. And now I think we are quite in a good place of, making some shifts in the industry, creating some real big innovation. And I think the fact that we didn't come from insurance industry was a huge benefit of achieving everything that we have achieved so far, because we were kind of like looking everything from the customer's perspective, and we always put the customer first, everything related to the experience, and we are always finding ways and opportunities how to make things happen, knowing that there are some restrictions, there are some regulations, and there is some sort of like borders where we have to play in, but we always think outside the box, because we always put the customer first.
Mm-hmm. Many important questions now on my mind. The next one is, when I went to your LinkedIn profile, you're co-CEO and co-troublemaker. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
The co-troublemaker kind of title I created to myself because often when we are working with different insurance companies, because today we are collaborating with several ones, we kind of were often in a position where we hear that, whatever you guys want to do, this cannot be made, and we always felt like we're bringing, every time we go behind the table with an insurance company, we're creating some sort of headache to them, or some sort of like a trouble, and they have to start thinking differently or doing things differently. And we always got this feedback, this cannot be done. And so we kind of felt like troublemakers in the industry. But it's good. I mean, great things have been happening like this, and it has been a good trouble.
And before we get into the business of INZMO, how did you come up with this strange name? All the good names already taken?
Yes. And the story behind this was that we wanted to serve insurance product primarily over mobile app, right? And this insurance plus mobile gave us the kind of like abbreviation of INZMO. And if you put insurance and mobile together, then we also were thinking about INZMO with an S, but to me, it felt kind of soft and not edgy enough. So we switched the letter, and just by chance, the domain inzmo.com was available, because it's super difficult to get .com domains these days without purchasing it for tens or hundreds of thousands of euros. And it was available, and for us, it was a sign. This is our brand.
Insurance and mobile. Okay, I get it. Yeah, now it starts to make sense. And you guys are basically, so first, you're not an insurer yourself. You don't take risk on your books. As we said, you work with several insurance companies, and they basically take the risk on your book. So you're a broker of insurance contracts, right?
Yes, at the moment we operate as an MGA. It is in our future plans actually to also take part of the risk ourselves, and we are working quite heavily on that already to also become at some part a risk carrier ourselves. We see that we do have so many great opportunities at hand with products that do not exist yet on the market, and we just feel like that if we want to be fast, dynamic, and and we also have maybe a larger risk appetite, then we will have to do it ourselves at some point.
I see. And another important question, because a lot of people out there listening are actually themselves entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, because at the end we will also talk about, are you hiring? And there's also a lot of job seekers recently on our podcast listening. Before we get into all of that, I would be wondering, how did you identify the rentals, this vertical? How did you find the right target group to make your company big? Because that's really, really important. If you start a company, you have to have one audience that you sell to. And guys, please don't make it college educated people between 18 and 45, because that's what everybody says. How did you come up with a good solution for that?
Yeah, so the rental segment came to us via personal experience, because when we set up our office in 2018 in Germany, in Berlin, then we also moved to Germany and rented an apartment. And for example, when I rented an apartment, then I had to pay a huge deposit to my landlord in the amount of 7,500 euros. And I was like, isn't there solutions available that I don't have to pay cash, but I can somehow, I don't know, get a guarantee, get an insurance, get something like that. And in addition to the cash deposit that I had to pay, I had to furnish my apartment. Huge cost again. I had to get liability insurance. I had to get home contents insurance, which are mandatory according to the rental agreements in Germany. And then I was like, this is just such a huge cost to make. I mean, we are entrepreneurs. Maybe we already have some money already. But if you look at for younger people, then what are their options? Either they lend it from their parents or lend it from the bank, or what do they have to do in order to move into a new home? And when I started investigating this, that is this a common problem? Like the high cash deposits and high, the requirements for the insurance. It's a common topic in all across Europe. It's maybe not so kind of bad in Estonia, because the additional insurance products are not required, and also we have the requirement for 1 month deposit. But in other European countries, 3 to 6 months cash deposit to your landlord is very common. And what is also very common is people struggle getting their money back afterwards. So we saw there an opportunity that, hey, here is a problem to solve. First of all, give back money to the tenants, the thousands of euros. I mean, only Germany. Today, we have more than 50 billion euros sitting dormant on the bank accounts of landlords, serving absolutely no purpose. The whole cash deposits that have been collected, serving absolutely no purpose. So this should be given back to people's hands. They can use it, I don't know, for investments, for education, for traveling, I don't know, buying Bitcoin. Good time. So do anything else besides just holding it in the hands of your landlord. And then when we understood that this is a common problem in all across Europe, and a huge opportunity, because it is a booming market, the rental market, and there's also so many additional products or additional kind of services we could provide to the homeowners or the tenants, and to mitigate the risks inside their new rental home. So and when we also started investigating that whether there are already dedicated providers in the industry, we figured out that this industry still has an open spot for a dedicated insurer or a financial services startup that could serve this market, serve the younger audience, and serve the tenants, and help them to get good financial coverage for their insurance affairs, for the cash deposits, and also maybe in the future some credit lines to help people to move into their new homes faster.
So people can basically, you are found by people who are in this stage of their life. Maybe they get their first apartment, they have to make cash deposits, and you basically offer everything around them. I've seen you also work with embedded insurance offerings. Can you also talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So today, 100% of our business comes from B2B2C. And this is definitely a vertical where we keep investing in heavily also in the coming years, because we see a great opportunity to leverage on the customer base of our partners if we are able to provide them enough value. And this is what we have building throughout those years at INZMO also. So we see that insurance is not something that is like a sexy product. Nobody wakes up 3 a.m. in the morning thinking about, oh, what kind of great insurance offerings are out there. It's not the next Apple product, right? And getting an insurance coverage is something that is annoying. I have to do it. Otherwise, I might be suffering later on. And our kind of mantra is that insurance has to be something that is hidden in other products and services. So that it's there, that you don't have to worry. And whenever something happens, that you can just open up a web or an application, submit a claim, and get reimbursed immediately. So this is the kind of experience we see that will be successful in the future. And it is a service that has to be kind of a value-added service to other products and services. And this is why we sell our products together with, electronic equipment, bikes. We are there when the rental agreement is being concluded and so on and so forth. So we are embedding this service naturally to other products and services.
Mm-hmm. It apparently works pretty good for you guys, since you call yourself Europe's fastest growing neo insurer. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes, we have been quite successful in closing some pretty significant accounts in the past years. For example, this year we are expecting to close with a 400% growth compared to the past year. And we also do have big, hairy, ambitious goals for the next year, because we do have some quite large partnerships waiting to go live. So in that sense, we have kind of find our spot in terms of niche, the rental housing vertical, plus the whole business model of via B2B2C. We know how to provide value for the B2B2C partners. And this is what we are leveraging on now. And this is the concept we are expanding right now. This year, I think the next 12 months, we will still focus on the German market, but we are quite soon ready also to expand via our partnerships to at least 3-4 additional European countries with the concept.
What I had in mind when I first read an email when you reached out to me, guys, and talked about rental insurance, the first thing in mind I had the landlords from Airbnb, because they're also very digital and they also have to have a lot of insurance. Are you also thinking about extending there, or do you already have an offer for them?
We definitely want to explore this opportunity quite soon. Today, we are kind of proving our concept with not like very short-term rental platforms, but mid-term rental platforms. So these are platforms that are renting you an apartment, usually furnished apartment, for 1, 3, or 6 months. And this is usually for people who, go work remotely for a short period of time and so on and so forth. But this mid-term rental platform concept is also a booming trend globally right now. They're getting really well funded, and there's definitely a need for furnished apartments for a shorter period of time than 2 or 5 years. And the same concept can be definitely expanded also to rental relationships, like in Airbnb, like into short-term rentals. So we would definitely want to be one of the largest players in the short-term rentals.
And of course, you cannot do this everything by yourself. You have a team. And I found it interesting when we talked before, you increased the salaries of the staff due to the current economic conditions. Admittedly, this was already done before Russia completely pulled the plug on gas deliveries. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, we have seen the inflation rates hitting quite hard, especially Estonia. So today we are at 25% of inflation in Estonia. We have extremely high electricity bills, and we have extremely high electricity costs coming also now in the autumn and winter time. So we already know that. And we know that it also kind of affects and hurts our people. And we do not want to have anybody, struggling or having like struggles in their private or financial life outside work, because we know it's going to affect their way of working and productivity also inside the company. So we wanted to prevent these kind of negotiations with our employees that, a lot of people do not dare to come and ask for a raise by themselves. So we acted proactively here. We did the first raise already in December, when we understood that the inflation rate in Estonia was already 10% and it was already 8% in Germany. It is a bit the situation is a bit lighter in Germany and Liechtenstein, but nevertheless, we have done the raises proactively in order not to make people come and ask and make people feel like, my company cares about me and I'm being valued and I'm being taken care of. So, and I can rely on this company I'm working in.
Now we get to the interesting question. A lot of people heard that right now and asking, are you currently hiring?
We are currently hiring. We are hiring especially into the product team. We're hiring product managers into several positions. We also do have some other openings for marketing positions. Feel free to check out the job openings in our website. Our hiring process is usually really, really fast. It usually tops with maximum 3 interviews over 2-week period of time. So our candidates know what to expect. We also provide them with kind of like the personality analysis that gives a very broad outlook on the person's strengths and areas that are a little bit weaker. So this is kind of a gift or a contribution from our side to the person we interview. And it's quite easy and simple. You get to meet the founders, you get to meet the managing team and your direct peers. And we promise it will be a fun ride.
Yes, of course. And you're part of, you have a lot of awards. I saw a Top 100 Global Insurtechs Award, Best FinTech Startup in Europe 2016, Insurance Shapers Award 2019. And apparently also a lot of investors like this. Helvetia Ventures, Change Ventures, Unica, and 500. You've been also part of 500 startups. Altogether funded you around $8 million. Are you currently looking for additional investment, or are you open to talk to additional investors?
Yes, we are definitely open. At the moment, we also have started an investment round. So we are very open to talks, and I think we are also in a good place where we can show investors that despite the difficult economic situation, we have been managing to grow the company. We have managed to grow the company in a very, very lean way without burning heavily money on customer acquisition, and we have been using the money in a quite smart way. Our team is quite small compared to the volumes that we are already making. So I think it will be quite a appealing investment story for a lot of investors.
Sounds good. I found that you have something 25 to 30 current employees, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And with the funding, of course, it will get more. Meeri, that was everything I want to ask you about. Of course, there would be a lot of space for stupid jokes and additional questions. I know. Maybe we'll have you come back when you successfully raised the fundraising rate.
Yes.
What would it be? Series A, Series B?
It would be Series A.
Series A fundraising. When you're done with this, come back and we'll talk about it again.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Joe, for this opportunity. And I hope you enjoyed the interview.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's all, folks. Find more news, streams, events, and interviews at www.startuprad.io. Remember, sharing is caring.